What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there crushing it on the tables. Just want to start out by giving a shout out to all the subscribers and everyone that has been commenting on the videos. You guys are all awesome. The growth of this channel has been pretty amazing. Thank you all very much. And now into the poker, we are going to be reviewing this session. It's a rough one, $867 down. Let's jump right into the hands. First hand we're taking a look at is at the 100 NL table. We have Ace King playing from the small blind in a shorthanded situation, only 3 of us being dealt into this pot. The button opens to $2, just a min raise, and we are putting in a 3-bet with the Ace King. Make it $9 to go. A little bit of an over bet, but we are up against an opponent that has a high call of 3-bet percentage, and they do make a call here. Flop is King High Rainbow. We have top pair, top kicker, and elect to check on this board and try to induce some bluffs from our opponent. They check back and we see a turn, which is the 10 of hearts. No more slow playing. We make it 2/3 pot, 12:03 to go, and our opponent makes a call of the $12.03. And the river is a jack. There's 43.06 in the pot. The only hand that really improves here that would be calling on the turn would be something like an ace queen, possibly a jack 10, and we're up against an opponent that folds a lot on the river to bets and also has the tendency to bet a ton of rivers. The flush draw missed, if the low straight missed, there's a lot of hands that didn't get there. So I elect to check on the river to try to induce some bluffs and cash in on the high bet percentage from our opponent. And they do bet large. It is 31.55. That's actually a pretty tough bet sizing where we actually have to think about calling here. But I eventually do decide to make a call here and see that we are up against a Broadway straight. He has the nuts and went runner to get there. That will happen once in a while, and we just have to move on. If we bet the flop, he is no doubt going to be folding hands like this, and we want him to catch up a little bit so that he will make calls and make plays exactly like he did on the turn. We just hit a very unfortunate river. There were 4 cards in the deck where he was improving to the best hand, and that just happened to be one of them. And now we're looking at pocket kings at the 100 NL table, playing from under the gun. 9 players being dealt into this hand, and we open to $4. We get a call from under the gun +1. We get a call from the small blind, and the big blind. We see a 4-way flop, which is 10 high, 2-tone. Pretty draw heavy. Small blind leads out for half pot. The small blind is a recreational player, only 213 hands, but most players in this spot when leading out will have a very polarized range. We might run into some sets like this, or we could see some draws playing it the same way. I do make a call being in position. The deuce is a complete brick, and once again they bet, this time 2/3 of the pot. You could argue for making a fold here. This would be a pretty tight play, but I could definitely understand the argument, but I do make a call here. And the river is the 4 spades, misses all the draws, and now limits their set potential a little bit to 10s or 7s. Be much harder to have pocket 4s in this situation now. And they do bet again on the river. Looks to me like a bit of a blocker bet. Could run into some ace 10s playing it this way, or just one of those hands where they're completely trying to get every ounce of value out of it, just wanting a call so bad. And this is going to be one of those hands that's going to be hard to fold, and especially to a bet like this on the river, I'm not going to be folding, and I do make the call and see that we were up against a flop set that turned into a full house on the river. Just another tough one, but you guys can let me know if you think I'm wrong. If you think we could have played this one a little bit differently, let me know in the comment section below. And now we're jumping up to the 400 NL table. We have ace jack offsuit playing from the hijack seat. Under the gun +2 opens to $8, 2x. We make a call of the $8 being in position against a recreational player. You could also argue for 3-betting in this spot, but if we were to get 4-bet, ace jack is a very difficult hand to be playing in a 4-bet situation. combination. And the big blind also completes and sees a flop, which is king high rainbow. Flop goes check, 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 and we hit an ace on the turn, giving us the pair of aces with a jack kicker. Once again, it checks to us. There are now a few more draws out there, and we most likely have the best hand in this situation. So let's put in a bet. We make it $16 to go, and we get a call from the recreational player. See river, which is the 10 of diamonds, making one of the straight draws. There is now the possibility of a Broadway being out there from our recreational opponent's range, or they could have improved to 2-pair with something like king 10 or ace 10. And they bet into us $32, which is half pot. This is a tough fold against the recreational player, but again, you could argue to be making this fold. But our opponent also doesn't showdown very well, only winning 36% of showdowns, meaning that they will get to showdown with less than premium hands a lot of the time. So I do make the call and see that we were up against an ace 10, and they hit the 10 on the river, giving them the higher hand and taking down this pot. Now we're looking at pocket kings at the 100 NL table. We are playing from the button in an 8-handed situation. We get an open from under the gun, and we get a call from middle position. Put in a 3-bet, make it $13 to go. We get a call from under the gun, and the middle position player folds. The pot is $30.50, and we have an effective stack of 92.29, about 3-to-1 stack to pot ratio right now. Flop is two-tone with 2 queens on the board. Pretty dry board, so I elect to check back on the flop, trying to induce some bluffs and possibly improving our opponent's hand a little bit so that they can bet some draws on the turn and river. The turn is a 5 of hearts, a pretty much complete brick to this opponent's under the gun open and 3-bet calling range. And now they bet 2/3 pot into us, and we just make a call here. If we do put in a raise, we're probably only going to get called by queens in this spot. We might get called by some of the bigger pairs, but it is definitely going to be limiting our opponent's range here. But we will definitely knock out some hands that we want to stick around. The flush draw also might stick around to a raised pot here, but we're going to see a river, which is the deuce of hearts, another complete brick, and our opponent bets almost $50 into us, again 2/3 pot. The only hands we're really worried about right now is anything with a queen in them. Which hands would be opening and calling a 3-bet from under the gun from a regular player with a queen in them? Maybe king queen, probably ace queen, but that's really about it, limiting our opponent's range extremely in this spot. And we can safely be making a call here with the kings, knowing that we're going to be good most of the time, which is what I do. And we wind up taking down this pot of $165 with the pocket kings. And now we have ace king at the 100 NL table, playing from under the gun. We open to $3, and we are facing a raise from the cutoff, who makes it a healthy $15 to see a flop. The cutoff player is somewhat recreational, high VPIP, but low 3-bet percentage, and does not fold to any 4-bets. Ace king plays pretty well against most recreational players, but with our opponent's small 3-bet percentage and 0 fold to 4-bet, I think we should just be calling in this spot, or possibly even folding. I know that sounds crazy, but I do think it is a viable option. We, however, decide to put in the 4-bet, make it $50 to go. Our opponent jams the rest in. We are committed at this point. We call the extra 50 and see that we're up against pocket aces. That is going to happen once in a while. Sometimes even the recreational players of the fish will get pocket aces, and we will be coolered, and we wind up losing this pot of almost $200. Let me know what you guys think about this one. This right here is the turning point in the hand where we could have gotten away from it. We could have just made a call, seen a couple flops. Tough loss. Let's go on to the next hand, which is another ace-king situation. We are still at the 100 NL table. 7 players being dealt into this hand. Full draw to the small blind, who opens to $2. We make it 8. They make it 22. This is another one of those very difficult spots. Our opponent has a wide open range from the small blind, doesn't fold very often to 3-bets, and actually has a really wide 4-bet percentage, which is mostly consisting of less than premium hands. Our ace-king plays great against most of those non-premium hands, so I elect to jam the rest of our chips session, and we do get a call from pocket kings in this situation. I think this one is pretty much just a cooler. From what we can tell from the stats, our opponent doesn't show up with kings, queens, or ace king in this spot very often, but did happen to have that hand this time. So we need an ace or running straight cards. Need an ace on the river, and we don't get there, and we wind up losing this large pot of over $200 with the ace king. And when you're losing lots of hands like this, you're going to have some very rough sessions like we did, losing $867, but something we can bounce back from and learn from to improve on our future sessions. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not done that yet. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of the videos when I post them. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Head down to the video description for links to all the poker products that I use, including Hold'em Manager, which I use for my on-table HUD, as well as reviewing poker sessions, and America's Card Room, where I do all of my poker playing. Leave those comments and questions down in the comment section, and I will be back soon with a new video. But until then, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felt.